One project we recently covered on the channel has been all pump and no dump. It is on an upward trajectory, and who knows where this one could stop. Could it be the next Yearn Finance to end up with a price higher than Bitcoin's? I definitely think it's possible. That's why I joined on as an advisor. Today, we are going to sit down with Philip Dow of YFDAI to find out exactly what is going on with this project, including some questions from the community. Let's get it. Guys, today I'm joined by Philip Dow from YFDAI. As you guys know, I'm a marketing advisor for YFDAI. Very excited about this project. It's fighting rug pull scams, and it just does a lot of great stuff. It's got great tokenomics. But Phil, first of all, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Ben. Good to be here.
Absolutely. So I guess the first thing to start with is just, what is YFDAI? What does it do? And try to explain it as simple as you can for someone who's not familiar with the project.
Yeah, sure. Well, YFDAI is a DeFi platform, and DeFi, as you know, is short for Decentralized Finance. The financial products have normally been accessed via traditional institutions, and to get the products, you need KYC, income proofs, credit scoring. DeFi is basically just a way of doing that peer-to-peer without the need for all of the income proofs and the KYC. So at YFDAI there's a multitude of different products: staking, farming, lending, borrowing, insurance, and prediction markets. So most of the projects out there just do one. It might be staking or it might be farming, but with YFDAI it really is a sort of full suite solution, and we'll also be combining e-commerce payment solutions with DeFi as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this project has got a lot of great tokenomics, which we'll kind of talk about in a little bit. But can you tell us kind of about like the profit shares that YFDAI has with its community? How are people able to get in with YFDAI and make money?
Yeah, sure. Well, that's really one of the main keys of the platform. So when it comes to how do you make money with YFDAI, first of all, we've got the staking. That's live. It's paying 72% returns a year. And that's also a fixed return. You've then got the farming. There's 6 pools live at the moment. And that's paying variable returns. That depends on how much of the pool that you actually own. That's accessed via adding liquidity directly to Uniswap at the moment. But then on top of those, if you're a staker or if you're a farmer, you also then get a lot of profit shares from all of the rest of the services. So for instance, the SafeSwap exchange, which is going live very soon, it actually went to testnet yesterday. 5% of the profits will be rewarded to stakers and farmers. So, if we ended up doing the same sort of figures as Uniswap, we'd be looking at around about $250,000 a month, being distributed. We've then got SafeSwap advertising, so there'll be advertising available directly on the exchange. That's going to provide roughly around about $25,000 a month. We've then got borrowing and lending. So if we were to match the top 3 currently, we'd be looking at around about 2.5 million in rewards being distributed. And then on top of that, we've also got Safe Predict. That's a hard one really to estimate. It's going to be based on volume and usage of that service. But then we've also got farming or launchpad projects. So YFDAI will be bringing new projects through, and we'll be taking a percentage of their tokens for farming. And we estimate that's going to be around about $64,000 worth of tokens based on launching 4 projects a month. So when you look at the whole package, the residual income that can be received from being a user of YFDAI is very large.
Yeah. And so we had some questions from the community that came in for this specifically. So some of these questions are coming straight from the community. And one of these questions, and it's one honestly that it's something I've really struggled with since yield farming has become very popular, and struggled in my own investments, is I've invested in a lot of projects, and started farming, and I was making good returns in the farming, but the tokenomics of the project were bad. So I was like actually losing more money when the value of the token was going down. So a lot of projects the question is, a lot of projects with staking and farming, their prices like really suffer and they go down because people are dumping. Do you see this happening with YFDAI, or what makes it different, in terms of being something that people can invest in and feel pretty safe about not losing value?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I guess it all comes down to economics. So for a lot of the projects out there, they're actually paying out the rewards just by sort of minting more tokens. Mm-hmm. So yes, you're getting more tokens every single month, but because the price is falling, you're not actually sort of realizing any gain. And I think why YFDAI is different is down really to the economics. So first of all, there's a total supply of 21,000. There's no mint function in the contract, so there will never be any more. And we've got a limited supply that was there to reward the stakers and the farmers. So the rewards that we're giving out as well are quite a lot smaller than the competitors, but we make up from that from all of the profit shares that we've discussed. So what that gives us, it means we've got quite a low emission rate, but we've also got a very, very strong burn model. And in fact, every single token that's going to be given for rewards for staking and farming would eventually be burnt. And that will leave a supply of just 13,950. So what we've got is a truly deflationary model where you can earn rewards in the token, but also the price should go up. And we've actually seen that. The staking has been live now for...
The price has gone up for sure recently.
Yeah, the staking's been live for like sort of 5-6 weeks. We've had a huge uptake with around 65% of the supply being locked in staking. Farming's now also live for a couple of weeks, and we can see that the price, is growing. Again, it's good tokenomics, really.
Yeah, I think that really matters. I mean, the tokenomics is important. You really hit on something when you said, the returns for the farming and things, it's not as high as some of the competitors, but it's those high rates that other competitors offer, which makes their token dump. So I really like, what you guys are doing, trying to find that balance of giving value to your investors, and then also making sure you're not giving them so much value that they're just dumping and leaving, and then that hurts everybody. So that's a better long-term model for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down to supply and demand as well, because if you've got high buy pressure, then, you can afford to be bringing more tokens in. Right. The problem is, though, that buy pressure varies. We have alt season, we don't have alt season. So having a low emission of the token, but then topping those profits up from all of the other services is the best way, because we can give some of the highest returns in the industry, but without the supply rising rapidly. And what we also do is we reward the stakers and the farmers. So the longer that you lock up, 30, 60, 90, or 120 days, the more of those rewards that you receive. Yeah. And what we're finding is that people are locking their tokens up longer because they want these rewards. So that really, really helps as well control the circulating supply.
I've been talking to you guys for, a while now, and I've been really impressed. Like, this project seems to be like more thought out than a lot of other projects. I mean, you know how these things are when they come to market. They're just, hey, we got a Uniswap listing. Buy, And I really feel like with YFDAI, like what you guys have done a really good job of is really thinking through like a lot of the problems in the space, trying to solve those, still providing yourself with a good, strong, tokenomic structure. I think that's one reason why you guys have been doing so well lately. And I expect, I mean, who knows? I mean, nobody thought Yearn Finance was going to get to where the price was higher than Bitcoin,
Sure.
And yet here we are. It's been struggling a little bit lately, but one thing that a lot of projects do that are successful is they kind of look for the next niche that needs to be solved, and obviously, DeFi, everybody jumped on the DeFi bandwagon. You have projects that had nothing to do with DeFi in the past that are now like, oh, hey guys, we're a DeFi project now. But one of these niches that I think is getting very popular right now is are projects that are trying to stop scams. Like, what a novel idea. And that is one thing that YFDAI is very passionate about. You guys are trying to stop, these rug pull scams, which I've talked about it on my channel a lot. Like, I've made a pretty good amount of money during the DeFi craze, but I lost $60,000 to rug pull scams over the last probably 3 or 4 months. Like, I'm ahead, but those are big hits, especially because it was kind of near the beginning of where people were realizing this was a thing. So I fell victim to it just like anybody else. I listened to a friend. Friend said, buy this coin. I said, okay. And then before you knew it, I lost all the money. But the point is, Philip, you're a friend, but don't ever trust me. Don't ever trust friends. That's the thing. Okay. Don't ever trust your friend. But in all seriousness, though, what are you guys doing to kind of help stop these rug pull scams? These projects that just pop up and die, and their investors.
Well, it's a really big problem. We saw stats the other day that, there was 34 exit scams in just 2 hours on Uniswap.
Wow.
And, it's a big problem because not only are people losing their funds, but, it's putting a black mark really on the whole of the DeFi space. So I guess with YFDAI, they wanted to not only build a DeFi platform, but they also wanted to make a real difference to the whole DeFi space. So the way that they set up, they did no pre-sale, they locked their liquidity until December 2021. They've locked all the team, advisor, and marketing tokens. Now they're in time-release smart contracts. They get a small amount every single month. There's no mint function in the contract, which is key.
Yeah,
and they then also had everything audited by Blockchain Concilium. Now, that is really the way that projects should start. They've funded it themselves, so they've also got skin in the game.
Yeah.
And the problem is it's just far too easy for projects to exit scam because they set up a website, and they set up a Telegram group, they put up an Ethereum address, they take all of the money, and they've got everything in their hand. They can just easily stop the next day. So by doing it the way that YFDAI have, it really means that even if you wanted to exit scam, you're not going to have anything. The Ethereum's locked up, the tokens are locked up, everything's done properly, you can't mint more tokens. And, the Launchpad, which is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, will make sure that all of the projects coming through do it in exactly the same manner as YFDAI have done. And they'll get a certificate to prove it's all been done. And hopefully that should bring an end, or certainly reduce the amount of exit scams that are happening.
Like you said, man, 34 in 2 hours. That's nuts, and they're popping up everywhere. And I wonder how many of these exit scams started out as exit scams and how many of them started out as, hey, like maybe we should do this. Wait a second. We're holding 1,000 ETH right here in our hands, and we haven't even done anything yet. You know what? Let's just take the money and run. We're ANON anyways. I think that might be something that happens.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is if somebody's got everything up front, there's the temptation. So, you need to take all of that away. You need to make sure that all of the contracts and the code is audited and correct. But, it's time for a change because the bad thing is that people are now expecting, they're getting used to the rug pulls. It's seen as being a part of the industry, and that shouldn't be the case.
Last thing I want to ask you about, Philip, is NFTs. We know on this channel, we've been really big on NFTs in the last couple of months. We're continuing to be. It seems like maybe NFT craze has died down a little bit in some regards, but in other places it's still continuing strong. The question is, are you guys planning on integrating NFTs to YFDAI in any way? If so, how?
Yeah, we are actually. We'll be releasing some news on this very, very shortly. So, we'll be bringing out some NFTs. In all of our services, the fees that are generated go to the community. They go to building the project as well. And the majority of them have already been allocated. But there is the fee for exiting the farming. That's not been allocated. So what we're looking to do is we're going to be creating some NFTs, and that will basically unlock getting this profit share. So it's going to be really, really straightforward. There'll be a set date, which is probably going to be on the 8th of this month. And as long as you have entered the farming by that date, you will qualify.
Awesome.
You then have to hold your farming for 120 days. You can't withdraw, you can't lower the amount of your farming. And of course, anybody who reaches it to the end of the 120 days will then receive their NFT, which will give them their share of the profits. So it's really quite exciting because it means that if you don't get in by the 8th of the month, then you've missed the qualification period. We expect quite a lot of people to drop out over the 120 days. So at the end, what we'll be left with is the real strong supporters of YFDAI, and they will then be able to get the profits from the farming ongoing. And that also includes the profits from farming all of the Launchpad tokens. So it's really, really exciting. And also that NFT, it will then have a value. And we're also going to have a marketplace if people want to sell their NFT on, which gives other users the chance to actually buy the NFT and also then buying into that profit share as well. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, exciting. Just so cool how these projects come together, and they've got, so many different, things in cryptocurrency. They're kind of combining into one. I mean, we're seeing a lot of projects do a lot of stuff, and I think YFDAI is definitely one to watch. I mean, this one like I said, who knows? Could it be the next Yearn Finance? Could it be the next one that blows up? But it doesn't have a lot of the, I guess, more spammier stuff, I would say, with the Yearn Finance and some of those strictly finance.
Yeah, and there's more products coming out as well. With the white paper, we really only wanted to put in there stuff that we could deliver, things that were already active and ongoing. But there's quite a few more products that are going to be coming, and we hope that they'll be connected to the NFT side as well. So it will be NFTs with real value and good resale values as well. So yeah, exciting time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Philip, thank you so much for joining us. I know my audience is certainly enjoyed learning about YFDAI. I think the prize has a lot of good prospects. Really looking forward to what is happening. If people want to learn more about YFDAI, where's the number one place they should go?
Really come into the Telegram group. We've got lots of stuff on Medium. We're very active across social media, but the one thing we're really proud of is our community. Yeah. So if anybody comes into the Telegram, you'll always get your questions answered. And, it's a really nice, relaxed community.
Awesome. All right, well, we'll make sure to drop the Telegram link down below in the video description so you guys can go follow that. Well, Philip, thank you so much for being on the show. That's all I got.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Lovely, Ben.
Thank you. All right, guys. Be blessed. BitBoy out.